Before I get into the question, Vivek, let me give you a quick context about eBay in India. eBay and its multiple avatars, the latest being that we focus on exports and we are an export-oriented marketplace, right? With that, our value proposition is to be the best export marketplace for MSMEs and SMEs in India. What do we mean by that? We mean that as long as any SMEs as well as MSMEs have a product to sell to the world, we should be the natural platform of choice for them. How do we enable that? By creating a robust ecosystem, by ensuring that we provide adequate training for SMEs, as well as ensuring that we create the shipping infrastructure, as well as provide the knowledge and know-how, and also the technology advice for our sellers to sell to the world. Yeah, in fact, I would add multiple unique value proposition or differentiation, if I would call it, for us at eBay. One, we are the only marketplace that is focused on exports. So our primary bread and butter is on exports. So whatever we do, be it in terms of influencing the government in ease of doing business, amendments to the policies, giving inputs into how do we make changes to the FTP that make it much more e-commerce friendly, or for that matter, creation of infrastructure to train sellers and having MOUs with, say, various state governments. Our focus is all on ensuring that we export to the world. And this also dovetails into the government policies of increasing exports, as well as ensuring that one product is exported from every district to the world, right? That's number one. The second differentiation is we are a pure place marketplace, meaning that we never own goods, we never own warehouses. What we do is we partner with our sellers, we partner with various stakeholders to enable the ecosystem. So our success lies in the success of our stakeholders, namely our sellers, as well as various partners whom we partner with to enable a technology platform which enables to sell to the world. Our experience with the government has been fantastic, to say the least, especially with the onset of pandemic and the previous years as well. Our interaction at various levels of the government as well as governmental agencies has been pretty good with us. We work very closely with the PIIT, FIO, the DGFT, and all these stakeholders for us in enabling the ease of doing business or ease of doing exports to e-commerce, right? And change at a policy level is very receptive, but implementation on the ground obviously takes time. And we are hopeful that things will improve in the future, and based on the feedback given by both our sellers as well as organization which runs e-commerce business across the world. This is very positively received by the government, and I'm sure the change will happen soon. See, our focus has been on enabling SMEs which are traditionally India-made or India-based products. So from that point of view, our focus has been on, say, jewelry, home decor, which we traditionally saw significant growth coming from these two categories, right? Our focus or strategies also evolved to include other categories which are pretty not so well known for made in India or India made kind of products. For example, business and industrial, auto and auto components is another big emerging categories. And with COVID coming in, our focus is also on COVID friendly categories, be it your hobbyist categories, collectible categories, toys, and other activities that you can do at home, home improvement tools. So these are the kind of products that have enabled us to grow the business significantly. Also, we need to understand e-commerce presents choice. When there is lockdowns as well as restriction in offline trade, e-commerce booms. And if you've noticed certain figures, the rate of growth of e-commerce in 2020 in the US market, which is primarily our host market, is like a decade's worth of growth was there in 3 months. So from that point of view, we've been able to ride that growth in some of our host markets, as we call it, and also expanded to new markets that has enabled us to give significant, strong double-digit growth. See, our traditional product lines, which we typically do well, is jewelry. It depends from market to market. Like the US market has different type of jewelry demand. Within fine jewelry, if for example, 18 karat gold, diamond jewelry works well in say US market, whereas the carat weightage in Australia and UK comes down a little bit further. So what kind of products do well are our traditional India made products which India is known for. So those kind of products do well, like jewelry, home decor, bedding, and those kind of products do well. And recently, like I mentioned earlier, India is producing a lot of auto and auto ancillaries, right? And from that point of view, we've seen auto parts do pretty well. Two-wheeler, four-wheeler auto parts, auto electrical power components do well, and also business and industrial. We've seen significant demand for that from our customers. You need to understand, Vivek, what we have from an eBay's perspective is market access to 190 countries. You have close to 1.5 billion listings on eBay, and last quarter we did close to $22.1 billion worth of GMV in one quarter alone. So that's the kind of market and demand that is available that Indian SMEs and MSMEs can tap into, and we would enable that. So if you look at the gamut of product, what we are good today might not necessarily be what we will focus on tomorrow. But from that point of view, our primary focus is on some of these 4 categories that I mentioned. See, again, I was talking to our friends in GJPC. One of the statistics that they gave me, as well as we've understood from the market, bewilders me, right? Only less than 2% of our MSMEs are selling online, and a very minute fraction of that actually sell to the world, right? Imagine a cluster of, we have close to 500 odd clusters in jewelry in India. Not more than 3 clusters actively participate in e-commerce and e-commerce exports, right? So from that point of view, the headroom to grow is significant, but the challenges are also paramount. One, the awareness of selling online is pretty low. Number 2, the overall infrastructure, ease of doing business is something that can be improved, be it in terms of foreign post offices, be it in terms of low-cost shipping, be it in terms of digitization of documentation, be it in terms of making it easy for returns. So some of these things need to be worked at to make sure that we scale at a different level. At this point of time, what we need to understand is that in a global marketplace, you're not competing with your fellow sellers from India. You're competing with sellers across the world, and you're competing with policies that those countries have made, where you're competing with the likes of different nations which are focused on e-commerce exports as well. So that's our push. That's the advice that we give to our policymakers. That's the inputs that we give to our policymakers to ensure that we enable and also become competitive at a global scale. See, I want us to be true to our vision. Our vision is to be the best export marketplace for MSMEs and SMEs in India. And in that endeavor, our objective is to build a robust ecosystem for sellers across all sizes and shapes for us to sell. So we don't necessarily focus on large brands. We don't necessarily focus on only exporters. We don't necessarily focus on just artisans. We operate across the spectrum. So if you notice, most of our seller profile, you'll have sellers selling from the remotest corners to the large brands as well. So what our value proposition and what our endeavor is to ensure that we create a robust ecosystem for smooth training of our sellers in a scalable fashion, ensuring that we continuously grow our sellers by providing the relevant knowledge and know-how. And last but not the least, create an ecosystem, be it on the policy side, be it on the logistics side, which becomes much more digitized in nature, so that anybody and everybody can start selling online. So in this endeavor, we've worked, and very positively, we've seen changes done where you could apply for the import-exporter license online. You could apply for a PAN online. You could apply for business registration online. So all these changes have happened based on various inputs. And we've given multiple inputs on the FTP as well, a foreign trade policy, the new policy that is going to come out soon. So we are in this endeavor. Like I said, it's a marathon. It's not just a sprint that you do something this quarter and it's going to end next quarter. We are here to stay for the long run. And to my mind, we would chip at all issues, right from policy changes to ease of doing business to digitization to awareness. And like I mentioned, our goal is to move that percentage MSME selling online and exports to at least double digit. Right now, it's a very, very, very small number. So that's our focus and that's our endeavor.